Hey everyone, what is going on? So welcome to another meta guide. So unfortunately last week I was not able to do the meta guides because I didn't have internet, I moved. But we do have another meta guide for you today. So the Open Great League is returning as well as the Great League Remix. So they both begin this coming Thursday, right? I believe it's Thursday. So let's go ahead and dive right into it and see what we got going on for us. We do have the Open Great League first, and then the next guide is going to be the Great League Remix. So for the S rank, we do have Carbink. Now Carbink is going to be ranked number 1. It's super high, but good luck getting it. I mean, it's not hard to get. I have one, but you need XLs for it. I guess you could get away with running a non-XL one, and that could be pretty interesting to see. Of course, over time you do want a really good ranked 1 XL, but you know, you could run it, and it's a really great Pokemon. It's on the level of Bashiodon in terms of defense and bulk. So maybe not quite as bulky, but it's still really bulky, and it's really powerful with its moves. So Carbink, you're probably not going to see too many of them. You might see occasional ones. I guess some traders might have enough Rare Candy XL to invest in one. Maybe they got a really good rank one, maybe they swapped it. So you might see it here or there, but I don't think it's going to be that common. Next up is going to be Registeel. We have a couple Steel types, so of course Registeel, you know, is really powerful. Galarian Stunfisk, you know Galarian Stunfisk. We don't have to talk about those Pokemon. Super powerful, super thick Pokemon. Then we have the Swampert or the Shadow Swampert. I absolutely love the Shadow variant because of the damage it does, and the Hydro Cannon is so powerful. It's going to be getting shields. Now it is pretty frail, but it's going to be getting shields, right? Then we have Medicham. Of course, Medicham is the best fighter in this meta. It's been that way for as long as time. You know, it's just really good in the Open Great League. Then we do have Noctowl. Noctowl is a really strong Pokemon in this Open Great League, of course. But ever since it got that wing attack buff, it's always been super strong. So that's going to be the S rank. The A rank, we do have Scrafty, another strong fighting type Pokemon. Medicham is the dominant fighter, but Scrafty is still a good Pokemon. Then we have Pelipper. So Pelipper is really strong. It does have to watch out for Lantern, of course, but it does have that wing attack buff that it received a few seasons ago, whenever it got that buff, right? So, you know, it used to be a really strong safe swap. It's kind of a risky safe swap now just because of Lantern, but it's still a strong Pokemon nonetheless. Then we have Lickitung. Lickitung, I think, is a great safe swap. And I mean, you know, we know that bulk, we know how strong Lickitung is. Then we have Sableye. Now Sableye, I feel like took a back seat ever since Noctowl and Lickitung became a thing, and that still holds true. But now since Trevenant was nerfed, Sableye became the better ghost type in my opinion, so we do see it more often. Then of course Lantern, I did mention Lantern of how strong it is against that Pelipper. And yeah, I mean, it's just such a great Pokemon. Then we have Altaria. Altaria is a really strong one. Yep, strong Dragon type Pokemon. Strong Pokemon all around. Really tanky as well. Dragon Breath damage, super oppressive. Then we're going to move on to the B rank. So Dewgong did receive a buff this season with Ice Shot, Icy Wind. Let's get it. I love Dewgong. I think Dewgong's a great Pokemon. I've used it with success. It is a double legacy Pokemon. Ice Shot and Icy Wind are both legacy. Drill Run is not, it just received that move, but that's the moveset you do want to go with it. Quagsire or Shadow Quagsire did receive a buff because Mud Bomb is doing more damage this season. So keep that in mind. Could be fun to run. Really solid pick. Then we have Double, another great Pokemon. Of course, that Double Kick Body Slam, really spammy. Payback or Wild Charge depending on the team, I guess. Then we have Bashiodon. Yep, everyone's favorite Pokemon, Bashiodon. Then we have Azumel. It used to be the king of the Open Great League, and it's still really good. But it's not. I feel like it's not as good as it once was. Like, it used to be S territory, you know. Still really strong. Still a really good Pokemon, and you'll definitely see it. But I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of better picks now. But Azumel is still a really good Pokemon, and you're definitely going to see it. And then we have Defense Deoxys, which I personally like Defense Deoxys a lot. Trevenant was nerfed. So I feel like it's a great lead. I feel like ghost types are not generally in the lead. Sableye usually is used as a safe swap. You could see it occasionally. You might see that occasional Jellicent in the lead or Cofagrigus, but not super common. And then we have Alolan Sandslash. So Alolan Sandslash, yet another ice type that did receive Drill Run, so it's even better. Of course, Bulldoze was its other ground type attack, and unfortunately Bulldoze is not a good move. So now that it has Drill Run, it's a really strong Pokemon. So that is going to be the SA and B tier. Let's go ahead and move on to the other options. So for the first option, we do have Vigoroth. Vigoroth, I think Vigoroth it's used more so in themed cups, but it's a great safe swap, right? With that counter Body Slam, and then we have a Wishcash. Wishcash is another Mud Boy that has Mud Bomb and did receive that buff because Mud Bomb is doing more damage. And then we have Jellicent. Jellicent I feel like is used more so in the Ultra League, but not a bad one, not a bad one. Wolverine did receive another buff this season. Icicle Spear is doing a little bit more damage, so it does give Wolverine more play. Gliscor is good. I just feel like it is good. It's just because of the ice buff, it does have to watch out, but it's still a good Pokemon. Then we have Kommo-o. Kommo-o is a strong Pokemon, strong Dragon Tail user. Umbreon, very, very tanky. Yep, very tanky. You can take hits for days. And then we have, it does well against that safe swap Sableye as well, which you love. Meeting Sableye with Umbreon, however, Return still does a lot, but Umbreon is a strong pick. Then we have Alolan Ninetales. So Alolan Ninetales with that Charm or Powder Snow, very, very strong. Especially the Shadow variant. I really like the Shadow version. Then we have Machamp, a Shadow Machamp. Another fighting type you could use. There's better fighting types like Medicham and Scrafty, or even Obstagoon, but you could use Machamp. I didn't put Obstagoon on this list actually, but then we have another Dragon Tail user. Yeah, I mean a really, really strong Dragon Tail user, no doubt about it. I also didn't put Nidoqueen on this list. Nidoqueen did receive a buff this season. Poison Fang is doing more damage. I feel like Nidoqueen's probably used more so now in the Ultra League, but still. And then we have Regirock, and we have Charizard. So Charizard, of course, is really strong. Is really strong. So Charizard's a good Pokemon. And if it gets that energy advantage, you gotta watch out. But let's go ahead and move on to the solid team options. So for the first team is gonna be Medicham or Deoxys, double ice. So Dewgong and Alolan Sandslash. So I've used this team with Medicham and with Deoxys. I think I might prefer the Deoxys, to be honest, just because you kind of struggle against opposing Medicham. Yeah, you have Medicham to answer Medicham, but it's a neutral matchup. Whereas Deoxys is going to do well against the Medicham. Next up, we have double Mud Boys with Flying in the lead. I actually use this team as well, so Wishcash and Quagsire, or you could go with Swampert, but Noctowl in the lead as a flying type. Of course, the back line, what is it going to hate? Grass, right? The back line cannot handle grass. Unless you have energy with like Wishcash and then you hit it with a Blizzard. But generally it cannot handle it. And then you have that Noctowl, which does well against grass types. Next up, we have a common team that has been common ever since the Wing Attack buff, I would say, with Medicham, Lantern, and Noctowl. I actually think it might be a little bit better this season just because that Pokemon, what is it, Trevenant was nerfed. So this team is ABA weak to Trevenant because Medicham and Noctowl are not Noctowl, but Lantern are weak to Trevenant. But now that Trevenant is seeing a lot less play, this team is going to have even more play in my opinion. And then the next team, although Noctowl has to watch out for the ice types that you might see. But then the next team is going to be a team I hit Legend with a couple seasons ago, Pelipper Double Steel. Oh, there goes the noise. Something fell outside my room. But so the team is going to be Pelipper Double Steel and Registeel Galarian Stunfisk. You could use Carbink if you happen to have it. You could also use Bastiodon, I guess. But yeah, as I mentioned, I did hit Legend with this team a couple seasons ago. So yeah, really powerful team. Safe swap to Lord of Fighting type with Registeel, and then Registeel I think is a great safe swap. So it could possibly even beat Medicham, or at the very least get a shield. Probably get the shield, right? So really, really strong team altogether. The next team is going to be Altaria with Registeel and Lickitung. So yeah, I mean, lure out the fighting type with one of the Pokemon in the back. And then Altaria can handle it. Probably that Registeel. I mean, the thing is, Lickitung, if you respond with Lickitung, they're probably going to bring in Medicham, and Lickitung against Medicham is not that bad because you have Lick as super effective damage. So if you have a really good Lickitung, you can go head-to-head against the Medicham, right? And then the final team is going to be Scrafty, Charizard, and Swampert or Shadow Swampert. So that is going to be the Open and Great League for you. Let me know which team you like the best, and let me know what team you plan on using. I'm really interested in hearing what you have to say, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.